I'm gonna be breaking down how you can trade the 1 hour time frame and really simplify it, making sure you're using good reward to risk and also getting a great strategy out of it. In this video, I'm gonna be giving you access to one of my indicators completely for free. And I'm gonna show you exactly how you can gain that access in here whilst I show you my 1 hour trading strategy. So when it comes to trading and we look at the 1 hour time frame, the reason why I like the 1 hour time frame is it means you don't need to sit on your charts all the time, all day long. This means that you can come back every couple of hours, check your trade, make sure the trade is panning out, and ultimately have a set and forget approach. This means that you can set it and crack on with your day. It's a great strategy for those that are working full time and cannot have access to their trading charts every single waking minute. And this is one of the best parts about trading the hourly time frame. It also takes a large amount of the volatility out of the market, where you don't need to sit there and analyze every single fundamental news release that is happening every single day. You only need to focus on the really high impact news alerts that could affect your trade, rather than those that are specifically smaller, unrelated, medium, low level news. So let's cut to the chase, let's get to the charts. We're going to be reviewing the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to be showing you the strategy that I've been applying, the tools that are on my chart, and also the fundamental analysis that has helped the position move within my favor, in line with my trading strategy, and how you can take advantage of this the exact same way that I am doing it. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not a signal providing software. It's nothing along those lines. This is simple education that you can apply to your trading strategy and your chart and see exactly what I'm seeing, and you can react to it in your own manner, applying these simple rules. So we are looking at the pound against the US dollar. So fundamentally, pound is weakening against the US dollar. Today was non-farm payroll day. Overall, from a technical and fundamental mid to long-term outlook, I am looking at shorting the pound against US dollar. Obviously today we had the non-farm payroll data. This can cause volatility when you're trading, and it's something to be cautious of. Overall, I sort of just factor in those trades in line with my 1% risk per trade approach. Now, when we look at this, non-farm payroll results came in much better than expected, therefore strengthening the US dollar. So strengthening the dollar, pound is going to weaken against it, in line with my midterm outlook on the fundamental side of pound against the US dollar. Technically speaking, you can see these nice gold arrows on my chart. Now, not all of them are going to be perfect. You can see a couple down here that you wouldn't even think twice about. But you can see my sell entry here, my stop loss up here, which I've got £7,211 risk. And you can see my take profit down here, which has got £14,700 profit. It's a 2-to-1 reward to risk. So first of all, let's look through the indications that we've got here. This is called Trademate. Trademate is it's my mate, there we go. It is an indicator that will plot entries of points of interest on a chart. You can see one over here, which was nice, and you can see these two over here that are also nice. So when we review these, they are going to show points of interest, a pullback in the market. These are points of interest that you might want to be notified to enter the trade, and that's a simple notification that pops up saying, check this chart, you may be interested in entering. You can put different filters on this so that it has to have multiple time frame moving averages within your direction, within your favor, in order to actually present that indicator. So what this has got on at the moment, it's got the 15-200 moving average on the hourly, and it's also got the same on the 4 hourly. So it'll produce these entries as long as those two time frames are in line and the pullback is significant, and then you get your seller's bar setting up. So this is primarily for sales in this instance, and then you would look to enter. You'll then see a little red X below the underside, which is where it's saying this is a potential exit point. But this is all down to your trader's discretion. You may want to hold the trade, you may want to exit. It basically says that be cautious, the market is starting to slow down. So you can see here we had 2 entries here, and it says be cautious, the market is starting to slow down. Obviously, I'm fully aware that non-farm payroll results were coming out, and I was like, little do you know, from a fundamental perspective, we're about to see some large volatility, and decided to hold on to that trade. So that is primarily what we're looking for, and Trademate can produce these entries really nicely. So this tool here, Trademate, what I'm going to do for anybody that wants to have access to it, you can have a trial for it completely free. Click the link in the description, fill out the form, and we shall send you your own copy of Trademate. You can chuck it on your charts, on both MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5, and you can see exactly what I'm seeing. Now, you can probably see I've got another tool on my chart just up here. This is called the risk tool. To be honest with you, it was made because so many traders out there do not get the right lot size calculation, do not get the right reward to risk calculation, and this just does it all for you. So my risk is 1%. I don't need to use fixed lot size, so I keep that unticked there. My risk to reward tool, I'll show this in a minute. I'm on sells, and if I click this here, risk to reward tool, you can see it pops up here, and you can see that I've got this ticked. My fixed reward to risk is 2. And you can see that if I wanted to enter short again now, it's calculating my lot size based on where it is and the take profit. So if I wanted to just adjust that, I can move that however I want, and you can see how it's updating where that trade would be. Makes sense? So it will ultimately work out where the reward to risk should be. So ultimately, when I use my reward to risk tool up here, I can click sales, or I can change it over to click buys, and it will then produce where I need to get a 2-to-1 on my buy. I can also change my fixed reward to risk. Let's say I only wanted a 1.5. It can then update that, and I can then also go on to settings, and I can put in partial profits, TP1, TP2, TP3 if I wanted to. So having a reward to risk tool just does all the automatic calculations for me and will ultimately tell me exactly how I'm performing. And the nice part about it is, so it doesn't clog up your screens, you can click it off with that gold button up there, and you can click the little arrow, and you've got nice clean charts. So having TradeMate, when we look at the rules, what do we actually look for on the rules? Daily time frame, like the 8 to be below the 21 moving average on the daily time frame. You can see that's been down now for about 7-8 days. 4 hourly, you can see that the 50 crossed over on the 200. That is also down. When we go down to the 1 hour, you can see up until this point here, let's just have a look. You can see where the arrows were producing. The moving averages were in the correct direction and can ultimately produce those entry arrows that you can see there of potential interest points. Now, some of you might have gone, but it did cross above, why didn't you close potentially? Well, historically speaking, you can see that actually on the last pullback, it was quite a deep pullback. You can see it actually crossed over before, so it's almost a short-term behavioral trait that it's looking at, and plus ultimately at the time of entry, everything was in line with what we was looking at. So ultimately, you can see my target down here, targeting the previous low, giving us our distance of what we want to achieve. So from where I entered, you can see it's around 100 and 105 pips. You can see my stop loss here is around 50. So taking into account spread, you can see we've got about 50 pips. So we've got a 2-to-1 target there, and we're up a 1-to-1 at this moment in time. We're just going to leave it to pan out and see how it progresses. There's no real reason for me to adjust or alter the trade, so we'll see how it pans out. But more importantly, in this video on the 1 hour time frame, we've got multiple time frame analysis that's taken into account here. We have already done our fundamental news and breakdown of where we're anticipating the markets to move based off of my bank reports that I review and long-term outlook, and then we've coupled that up with the technical analysis and the entry criteria using TradeMate, and then I've used my risk tool to perfectly calculate my reward to risk, my entry criteria, and my reward to risk at the same time. If you want to get your hands on TradeMate for free, check the link in the description and enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you enjoy my strategies and outlook of the markets, then make sure we hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm going to be covering a lot more around the foreign exchange, the stock market, and lots more that's trading related. So get in the comments and let me know how you find using TradeMate and whether or not you like the entries or exits. Enjoy, guys.